Okay, so this is the first episode of the Looking Awry radio show, and I thought I'd start off talking about AI, which I know is the most tired, talked about subject, but I think with the entire Ghibliification of the internet over the past week, it's a good time to revisit it. And you know, anytime you bring up any opposition to AI, you're immediately confronted with like the standard set of rebuttals from the, LinkedIn profile Silicon Valley guy who is like,
Well, actually, it's going to improve workflow and it's going to make things quicker. And, this is what they said during the Industrial Revolution. What are you, a Luddite?
to that, what I have to say is, with every other technological advancement, whether it was, through the Industrial Revolution, I can't say that I know that for a fact, but, social media, whatever, any of those, it's always pretty intuitive whenever there's like a marked improvement in life through technology. People can see the new horizons everywhere. It feels like things have been opened. And when it comes to AI, every time I see an advancement or an article talking about what it can do, is it brings nothing but dread. Okay. What it's good at is taking a team of 50 people and turning it into two and then sucking the life out of whatever they're doing, whether it's, making music, writing scripts, or, doing visual art. And so, before we get into the negatives, I think you have to give credit where credit's due. There are use cases that are positive. I think in terms of art, the first positive use case would probably be early on people like John Rathman, who's taking the shortfalls or the pitfalls of AI and using that to create his own language. And in a lot of ways, the artists that were doing that, they kind of ran parallel, and a lot of their work, it was complementary. It didn't really compete with the art world. Now, with the advancements, you can fool someone into, thinking that this painting was done by a person. And that gets to my first sort of negative, which is what I call the AI tax, which is the amount of effort and energy that is used deciphering whether or not something is AI. Because regardless of what people say, the experience of viewing an AI-generated piece of art is never transcendent, and it's always something to be treated as skeptical. It hasn't gotten past that, and it never will, in my opinion. So the average person that is online is constantly in a state of being on guard, trying not to be duped or fooled by AI imagery. And with that comes, it's taxing, it's exhausting, and it interrupts the way that you interact with art. You can't have this sort of immediate experience because it's always buttressed, or it's not buttressed, it's always interrupted by the fact that you are preoccupied on deciphering whether or not what you're seeing is made by a human being or not. And yeah, that's something that no one talks about. You can the memes are fun, I get it. And yeah, you can kind of create strange and interesting imagery, and that's maybe 10%. The other 90% is you trying not to get fooled by someone who is trying to deceive you. And this has only been exasperated in the last 2 years, whereby people can create entire accounts that are AI generated. And this gets to my second point, which is just the nonstop spamification of the internet.
Do not redeem the card. What? Do not
I understand it's increased workflow or whatever, but no one's talking about 90% of your feed is just spamified and the noise is turned up to level 10. Because another thing people say is it's democratizing, that it's giving, as if art isn't already democratized. How much does a fucking pencil cost? And some paint. Give me a break. It's already democratized. What it does is it gives the lowest common denominator the ability to imitate and trick people into thinking that what they're doing is high quality, which is what it does is it creates a crisis of legitimacy. The things that you used to see and know were legit because of its quality now can be imitated by the lowest common denominator, and you can be tricked or fooled into interacting or buying from them or doing something. And so, yeah, that's really what I see a couple either months or years away, is just the crisis of legitimacy, the inability to decipher what is legitimate and what is not. Because when quality is able to be imitated in such a cheap way, you're inevitably going again, we're getting back to putting in excess effort in order to decipher whether or not something is what it is. And yeah, that alone, I think, is enough to say, like, we don't, what other benefits? I haven't seen any of the other fucking benefits. The only benefit it seems to bring is increasing the bottom line of corporations by cutting fucking everyone, and then turning your social media and your email and everything else into a total spammed out hellhole. That's what you get with AI. And yeah, you don't have to listen to the nerds online, or the jerk off LinkedIn bros at the bar who are browbeating you, telling you that,
Oh, you're so, what are you, a reactionary? You're not embracing the future?
it's like, no, dude, the future sucks. And another, before I end this, another perfect example of this, just what, a year, 2 years ago, was the NFTs. They said all the same shit with NFTs. It's democratizing. It's going to level the playing field for the little guy. It's going to change the way that we're doing art, and we're going to circumvent the gallery system and blah, blah, blah. What did it do? Who ended up actually using NFTs? I don't know a single actual artist that I know who ever used them and whoever sold them. I don't know any normal people who used NFTs as a way to buy art. And it was ultimately just, a cash grab for super rich people, influencers. And it was just another fucking scam. The scamification of the economy under the guise of technological advancements. That's what we get with AI. That's what we got with NFTs. And that looks like it's going to be the fucking future. Sorry for it to be such a bummer, but had to go somewhere to rant, and I think the radio show might be a good outlet for that. But yeah, until next time, guys.